B3rdPower. I'm T Lynn Tate.
And I'm Sherri Cook.
And we are your lovely hosts for this next hour. And I'm super excited about this episode. I don't know about you.
But I'm super excited too.
Yeah, baby.
Yes.
We have an awesome power couple in the house tonight.
Talking about something we all want to know about.
Yes, love.
And relationships.
And marriage.
Ooh.
Yeah. And more. Yes, you've asked for it. I've had several people ask us to have a relationship episode, and tonight is the night with, like I said, a power couple that's making things happen and helping people turn their relationships around. But before we get into that, let's catch up, baby.
Let's catch up.
Yes, how was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty good. Pretty busy, but pretty good. How was yours?
Man, it was busy.
Yeah.
I was killing deadlines. I have so many deadlines right now, it's not even funny. So crushing deadlines. And then I had family dinner yesterday. My cousin invited us over to meet his new love interest.
Oh.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. And
you know it's serious when you go to the dinner with meeting the family.
It was family dinner. They cooked dinner for us.
Right.
It was very good. Thank you very much for my blueberry cornbread. Loved it. So yeah, it was awesome.
Awesome. Sounds like fun.
We have so much stuff going on these days. It's that season.
Yeah.
So many
really
events
is.
happening. It's like every time you turn around, it's something new to do.
Always.
Yeah.
And then, it doesn't help that everything that we do just family-wise, but then
everything outside
of family just
Yes.
keeps us extremely busy. Saturday I really tried to chill, but I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but my bathrooms are still in disarray. They're still all over the place, so I'm trying to work on that. And I thought Saturday we were going to have a contractor come out, but change of plans, some things changed. So yeah, just chilled for the most part, and then I went to the movies with Dale and his daughter. Yeah, we had some nice time.
What did you go see?
We went to see Us.
How was that?
It was crazy scary. So it really wasn't scary as much as it was just crazy.
Yeah, I heard someone give the review that in the beginning it was, they were a little confused, but they was like, it was definitely a scary movie.
Yeah, and then the way that they ended it kind of had you thinking. So I'm still trying to think, okay, so is her and her son really? Yeah, so it still has you kind of thinking. So I'm sure there will be an Us too.
As you figure it out, I'm going to read the reviews and figure the movie out. Yeah. I ain't going to watch it. Let me tell you that now.
But it was
not that I don't want to support
crazy.
it
was
I don't
crazy
do
scary
movies.
though. It really wasn't. It wasn't gruesome. That's what I mean.
Right.
It wasn't. So, but
yeah, I don't know. I had to be on one of them days where I'm really feeling froggy, because otherwise I'm just gonna take everybody else's feedback to figure out what the movie was going on with the movie.
We enjoyed dinner, and I ate popcorn till I was sick. I think because we really didn't need a large. We got a large. I don't think we needed that. But I love the popcorn. It was great. Sunday, Sunday, I actually spoke at a friend of mine's church, Heart Changers, out in Silver Spring. Okay. And we talked about overcoming discouragement.
Yes.
And powerful because just life.
Yes.
Life happens, and just life ups and downs happen.
Right.
And a lot of people, go and get discouraged, or setbacks come and people don't know how to pick themselves back up and just can't get back on track. And we talked about overcoming discouragement. Really blessed from that meeting. So, yeah.
So
that was
active
it.
Weekend.
Yeah.
Active weekend.
Yeah.
More activity coming up.
As usual.
Yes. But I tell you, I'm super excited about tonight. And I just want to say to all you guys that are tuning in, be sure, if you're on Facebook Live, stay tuned. Be sure to post your questions in the comments. We will be answering your questions live on air as we go along. So for those of you that submitted your questions already, thank you. And those of you that have questions on the spot, remember to post it in the comments on Facebook. We will be looking forward to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so what else?
That's it.
That's it?
I'm ready to go.
Oh, we ready to meet with our guests. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. And when we come back, you'll be able to meet our special guests,
Mr. and Mrs. Ma'at.
Relationship experts.
Yes.
Here on B3rdPower, as we are being intentional,
Bridging gaps and building communities.
We'll be right back.
Calling all speakers. B3rdPower is looking for impactful and innovative speakers, trainers, and business owners to take part in the B3rdPower Speaker Series. Beginning in March, we will feature and hear from a new speaker each month, highlighting their expertise. For more information, email us at B3rdPower@gmail.com. That's B3rdPower@gmail.com. Don't miss this opportunity to make your ripple effect in the global community. Elegant 3 Travels presents a summer escape. Join us as we set sail on a 7-night exotic Western Caribbean cruise, July 27th through August the 3rd, 2019, on the Carnival Conquest. Ports include the Grand Cayman Islands, Mahogany Bay, Belize, and Cozumel. For more information, contact Elegant 3 Travels at 240-816-0590. Reserve your suite today and don't miss this exotic Western Caribbean vacation. Global Executive Staffing provides top-level executive staffing to federal and private sector companies globally at the most competitive price. They are experts in coordinating and expediting projects from design to development. Global Executive Staffing is a Department of Veterans Affairs, Center for Veterans, certified service-disabled veteran-owned small business. To connect with Global Executive Staffing, go to www.gestaff.com. Welcome back to B3rdPower here on urbanstylemedia.com. We have Aiyana and Ayize Ma'at in the house. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. We're feeling good. Feeling good.
Yes, happy to be here. Excited to have you. I've really been looking forward to this show.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Good. Yeah. We have to. We ready.
Yeah, we ready.
Uh-huh. I know you are. You guys have had some wonderful topics. With you have Black Love and Marriage,
Yep.
and I love your Relationship Thursdays, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And every week y'all have something different. Like sometimes the topics, I'm like, really? We're talking about that this week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, keep it 100.
Yes, but it's good information, and I love that you guys are so authentic. But before I go on talking about what I like about you, how about we tell the audience, let the audience get to know you guys a little bit better. So tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Okay. So again, my name is Ayize Ma'at, and this is my lovely and incredible and amazing wife, Aiyana Ma'at. We're high school sweethearts. We go back a little ways now. 24 years together, 17 years married. And we have 5 wonderful children. And so we started this journey in terms of doing couples work about 10 years ago now. My wife and I, we went to a marriage seminar. And she took me there because she felt like she needed to get me told on some things. But come to find out, she had some work she needed to do too. So we started back then, and we've been rocking and rolling ever since.
Awesome.
Yeah. So what started out as kind of informal, going through the couples class, and then we began to start doing some coaching just informally through becoming lead mentors in that program and learning through the program. it just turned into something else. Because after we finished, we were like, can we go through it one more time? I think it was like 8 or 10 weeks. It was like about 10 weeks. And they were like, y'all want to go through it again? I was like, yes, please. So we went through it again. And then we decided, we said, well, let's just get online and let's just get a YouTube channel. Let's just talk about relationships and, you know, get people's feedback and answer questions and that kind of thing. And from there, we really took off, and we started to go to the next level. I've been in the field of mental health and therapy for 20 plus years now, but wasn't doing couples work. And then my husband went back to school and got his degree, and so we are now practicing as couples therapists and doing that work, not necessarily because we were looking for it, because we were just called to it.
Exactly.
And so it was just a path that unraveled on its own. But I think the thing that we say really we feel gives us the most credibility is not training, it's not a license, it's not a certification. It's like, we done been through some things. The experience. And we like to get with folks because we're learning while we're teaching, and
That's
everything
right.
that you feel called to teach on some level is because you need to grow in that area. That's why you're attracted to it in the first place. So that's been our journey, and it's been quite a journey.
And I was about to say that, like, that's the thing with call-ins, is that usually you have to go through exactly what you're to work with people on. So I can only imagine what you guys have had to go through. Because you see a million and one things as coaches and therapists. You see it, I'm sure you've seen it all.
Yeah, we've seen a lot.
Yeah, and during your marriage, you're probably like, why the heck we going through this?
Right.
But now you know, and you guys do some good work. I thank you for the community and the work and the knowledge that you guys share, because it's really important.
Thank you.
I think the thing that oftentimes, especially doing couples work, that people think is difficult, the most difficult about it, is that you're coming together and you're going in front of a therapist, and one person is going to have that therapist as their the person in their corner. If it's a woman, well, then she's going to side more with the women on the issue. And if it's a man, then that person's going to side with the man or what have you. So I think the thing, again, that's how oftentimes spirit moves and God moves. The thing that's unique about us is that, you know, we come and we both have our training that tells us some things are just what they are, but he's also a man and I'm a woman, and we bring those different perspectives, you know, to not just the therapy office, but also just in our teaching, just in our relating to people, just being real about the fact that we're men and women are different, and we have different experiences, different understandings. And then don't go back and look at my background and what I've been through and how I came up versus how he came up. We got baggage. I got bags I'm still carrying. I put them down sometimes. I pick them back up. Like he'd be like, put that down. Like, okay, you know. So it's when you bring all of those things together. It can be complicated, but I think when you have two perspectives, it makes it a little more balanced for folks.
I love that. So you guys actually counsel together?
Yes, we do. We do it together, but we also do it individually as well, too. So, you know, I may meet with the men and also with women as well, and then my wife, the same thing. And then we've done some work with families, too. So, I mean, we cover the spectrum in terms of relationship engagement, relationship development. And again, our primary focus is that, you know, when it comes to being in a relationship, you have to, as you all say, and as we say, you have to be intentional in order to make the relationship work. It's not going to work on accident. You really have to be intentional and, you know, put your best foot forward. And even if you're not putting your best foot forward, at least look at yourself and assess what is your best foot so that you can put that forward in the future. So you got to really apply yourself in every facet so that you can show up the right way for the relationship.
Yeah, I think it was Terry Crews that I heard say, he was talking about him and his wife. They've been married for years, but even though they've been married for years, they still do a tune-up. And I'm like, wow, that's like phenomenal, because people don't think about that. You go through the motions and you think you don't need to come talk to somebody or check in with each other until something goes wrong. But what if you check in with each other before it goes wrong?
Yeah, I mean, you should be checking in with each other every day.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can. I mean, and so depending upon the nature of what's going on in a relationship, it may require a more extensive and more detailed checkup, which would mean you may need to get some outside intervention to assist you with processing and moving through that stuff. But every day you should be engaging your partner, checking in. Every day I engage my wife. I ain't got no choice. She's going to make sure I'm engaging her on a regular basis. So, so, you know, every day I'm talking, we're texting, we're touching, we're kissing. I mean, we're engaging each other. And that's kind of like our way to assess the vibe, you know, in a relationship. And so we're doing that on an ongoing basis.
But can I just say this about that tune-up? I mean, we think about cars, right? So if you just keep going and going and you don't never take it to the shop, right? It's gonna break down,
Yeah,
right? And like, what happened? Well,
Mm-hmm.
you ain't do nothing with it.
Right.
So the touching in that he's talking about is so important. But I do think that we tell people all the time, we still go and see our therapist now who we saw for premarital counseling. We will touch in from time to time and go and see our therapist now. And it's interesting. Even when I say, babe, I think we might need to get, he'd be like, what? I'm like, well, hold on now. This is what we do. So you can't be on the other side talking about what, right? So I think the work that we do too challenges us to, not just be talking about it, but to practice what we preach. And the reality is that it's something about, if you just think about therapy, period, especially in communities of color, there's a connotation there. Well, what does that mean? What they gonna tell me? Who is it? What have they been through? He ain't even married. She ain't, what they know? There's all kinds of things that we attach to it, and a part of our work has been to just try to take that stuff down, because all it is intentional conversation. When you create that focused space, this is what I do every week, every other week during this 1 hour. You can have amazing results because you focus in. The same way when we studying to get that degree, or we trying to, work on whatever in our place of employment, it's because we're focused. But if you don't put the things in place to make sure that you're going to focus, it'll slide to the side. Because, I got to cook dinner, and then I got to go wash some clothes, then I got to get with a little boo-boo with the homework, and then I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make the space,
And you're right, with kids, it definitely, when you bring up kids, it definitely changes the dynamic of your relationship. Like, seriously, when I had my son, I was like, wow, you don't realize, A, how tired you're going to be, and you don't realize how slippery that slope of disconnecting can be, and neglecting each other. Not on purpose, but just because priorities have changed. And so that is something big that you want to be able to check in on. Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, with 5 children, we've definitely experienced challenges in that area, especially after the birth of each one of our children. Ages 3.
That's a surprise.
Yes, that's a surprise. Yeah, 3. Ages 3. What is that? 11. Yeah, 3, 11, 13, 14, and 17.
Yes. No, you're not missing nobody. 13, that's
14,
good.
17.
I was about to say, he got stuck on the surprise a little bit. You was like, that was a surprise. I just got stuck there a little bit.
Right.
But it's all good. But what we're going to do is we're getting ready to take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to take some questions, because believe me, I have loads of questions. Okay. Not all mine now. Not all mine.
And I'm just going to be a student and listen.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have no question.
I might come up with something,
but
I'm
on your
really
questions on the
just
break.
being a student now.
Well, we'll be right back on the other side of this break. We are here with Aiyana and Ayize Ma'at here on B3rdPower on urbanstylemedia.com. Get your snacks and come right back.
Get your snacks.
I did.
Calling all speakers. B3rdPower is looking for impactful and innovative. Calling all speakers. B3rdPower is looking for impactful and innovative speakers, trainers, and business owners to take part in the B3rdPower Speaker Series. Beginning in March, we will feature and hear from a new speaker each month, highlighting their expertise. For more information, email us at B3rdPower@gmail.com. That's B3rdPower@gmail.com. Don't miss this opportunity to make your ripple effect in the global community. Elegant 3 Travels presents a summer escape. Join us as we set sail on a 7-night exotic Western Caribbean cruise, July 27th through August the 3rd, 2019, on the Carnival Conquest. Ports include the Grand Cayman Islands, Mahogany Bay, Belize, and Cozumel. For more information, contact Elegant 3 Travels at 240-816-0590. Reserve your suite today and don't miss this exotic Western Caribbean vacation. Global Executive Staffing provides top-level executive staffing to federal and private sector companies globally at the most competitive price. They are experts in coordinating and expediting projects from design to development. Global Executive Staffing is a Department of Veterans Affairs, Center for Veterans, certified service-disabled veteran-owned small business. To connect with Global Executive Staffing, go to www.gestaff.com.
My name is Denzel Bennett, CEO of Urban Style Media. I started this entity to give nonprofits, small businesses, an opportunity to display their gift in giving people the ability to live their dream. People that wanted to make a difference in the community oftentimes didn't have a platform, whatever's in their heart, whatever they want to do from a media standpoint, in terms of directors, producers, musicians. We want to allow everyone to have a conduit to display their craft. Currently we have 7 shows. The collaboration aspect of our platform is expanding every day. We encourage people to go for their dreams. And so in order to feed the community, we need to expand our base. And expanding our base, we want to allow more people to have an opportunity to come on air to talk about their initiatives. We've been open approximately 5 months. And in that time span, people have shown up willing to serve. It's been beyond my wildest expectations. The people that have shown up have been dedicated, have gone beyond and above the call of duty. We're going to continue to pursue community objectives and initiatives. We want to be a staple in the community. Our slogan is, imagine us. So imagine us being there for you and your dreams to help us serve the community in the best way possible from a media standpoint.
Welcome back to B3rdPower.
Here on urbanstylemedia.com.
Yes.
We are continuing our conversation with Aiyana and Ayize Ma'at as we talk about relationships. And we got some questions.
And we're about to go in.
And we got some questions.
Okay.
Y'all ready?
We are ready. We're ready.
All right. So the first question is, we'll start something like, how many dates should you at least have before getting serious?
So you said we about to go in, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna keep it 100. We're not counting dates. So the question is off the top incorrect. So let me just put that out there. Okay. So we just need to reframe how we think about, how we get to know another person and how we join with another person. There is a time frame. There has been research that's been done that shows that anywhere between 1.5 years to 2 years is good time. That's good time. I don't know how many dates you're going on in that time necessarily, but I think what we should focus on more, even more than the 1.5 to 2 years or the number of dates, is what are the activities that you're doing? What are you finding out about the other person? Are you properly pacing the relationship? When are you sleeping with them before you even know anything about a family member? Like what actually are you doing? What kind of conversations are you having? Are you being real about some of the things that you struggle with, or are you oversharing? Are you moving too quickly? Are you, not going fast enough in the sense that you're not being honest about what you really want? Sometimes we kind of twiddle our thumbs and we spin it in the same place, knowing you're very clear about where this is the only type of relationship I'm looking to get into, one that's going to take me to a place of longevity.
Right.
So, but the other person is like, yeah, I ain't really right there, but we don't want to ask the question because we don't want to, mess it up.
Suffer in silence.
Yeah, so it's really about how are you connecting? What kind of conversations are you having? What are you doing? How are you spending your time? And do you feel like you have the ability to be honest and engage honestly with that person, and they can do that with you, and y'all are starting from that good place regularly. I think that's really where the focus should be.
And I think in addition to that, so my wife, she mentioned 1.5 years to like 2 years, but I think an appropriate question also is how quick is too quick? How fast is too fast? Because a lot of times, especially in this microwave society, we're jumping so quickly into relationships and giving our all that the person really doesn't even know us. And so, like my wife mentioned, there's a process to really get to know a person, to develop a healthy relationship. And when you find yourself in a space where you're jumping to sex before you trust somebody, then that can be an indicator that you don't have a good or clear sense of what it takes to be in a healthy and long-standing relationship. Because what you're looking for is something fast, something immediate, and you're giving the best of you before the person even knows who you are. And so, again, you need to be intentional about making sure you're properly pacing a relationship by at least knowing the person first, developing some sense of trust. Can you depend on the person before you give your body to the person? I mean, these are some fundamental and foundational questions that should be asked as you're developing your, the relationship for the long run.
And I say that to people because I coach people too. And one of the things that when we're talking about relationships, one of the things that I do holistic health coaching. So we talk about relationships and I'm like, sex complicates things. So you just met someone and then you're going to have sex with them. And then you're expecting to make a logical judgment from there. And it doesn't happen because now you're on a roller coaster of emotions and you're erratic in your behavior and how you handle it. Like, it's nothing wrong with waiting before doing that to get to know that person. I say that all the time. So y'all hear that? See, all my clients that's listening, hello, wait, wait. So speaking of serious, because you said something in Aiyana that I absolutely am curious of your thoughts on this. I think I know what you're going to say, but I want you to say it anyway. Okay. And that is, when you're dating someone and you never meet their family, is that a flag?
Oh, yeah. Yes. So the thing that when I talk to people and when we counsel folks and they say, well, we really haven't done that yet, or he wants to wait, for this, or I'm waiting for her to bring it up, right? When we talk about family, the thing I always ask that person, and for your viewers, I would ask this question: what do you know about yourself that would allow you to be in a relationship with somebody, and you call it a committed relationship on some level? You all are really trying to be with one another, and you allow yourself to be in this person's circle, in their space, and not touch in with the people who they connect in with. What do you know about yourself that you would allow yourself to roll like that? Because what that says is, if you will allow it, then people will do it. I need to know, like, I need to talk to your, I want to see who you hang with. Right. And we don't have to necessarily infringe upon people's, there is a, we talk about proper pacing. You heard us say that already. There is a proper way to pace yourself in terms of, close friends, then, or maybe extended friends, then close friends, then family, extended family, parents, all that. Nobody wants you up in there mixed off the top, like, all in there. You're like, slow your roll. You ain't got that title yet, right? Like chill for a second. But I do think that not knowing family, people getting married, people saying this is my boo, we moving in together, all of that, and you don't know people in that space.
Yeah.
Oh no, that should be a requirement. We should all have non-negotiables. Right. And when you don't have a non-negotiable, that I need to know the people in your space, the people who know you, who will represent for you. Because what they say, birds of a feather
flock together.
So you need to see what them other birds look like.
Yeah.
What do you think about chemistry, though? What do you think about if the chemistry is different in that relationship? And it moved fast, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it took a year. And and some of those relationships have been budding and been together for years. How did, because I know of several couples that have just, they met and 6 months later they just knew, and 8 months later they were married, and 17 years later they're still flourishing. I think it takes a different mindset, right? Because if you're a broken person going into a relationship and you don't know that you're broken, then you come up with all of those challenges. But when you're kind of in a different space, that chemistry just looks different.
It does look different, and I do agree. And even the numbers that you just gave, it kind of alluded to the whole 1.5-year time frame. You said 6 months, and then you said 8 months. 8 months later, they're married. And so that kind of alludes to the whole 1.5-year time frame. However, what I will say is that chemistry can be convoluted, for the hormonal rush that you experience in the initial phase in your relationship. And so one thing that I want to be absolutely clear about is that when you have a rush of hormones early on in a relationship, it all feels like chemistry. And so it all feels good. And then the challenge becomes when stuff starts to hit the fan, how do you navigate, how do you negotiate that? How do you deal with his stuff or her stuff as it starts to pop up? And so it's important that, again, you embrace the chemistry and you embrace the feelings of euphoria that you experienced in the beginning, but you recognize that this right here is a phase. Now, I'm still madly in love with my wife after 24 years of being together. And we still got banging chemistry. Like, we the bomb when it comes to that. But it took us 7 years to get married, mainly because of me. But it took us 7 years to get married, and we've had chemistry from the jump. But I just want to highly caution people that just because it feels good, it doesn't mean that it's going to always feel good.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it just physical. the chemistry.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah,
I was.
emotional. Oh, yeah.
Please don't y'all
Yeah.
go off what I said
Emotional,
about
because
jumping
one
in the bed with each other.
it's three
I
things that
ain't
we
mean
said.
it like that.
But you're not just talking about physical.
I'm not just talking about physical. I'm talking about just that connection, that vibe, that energy, that flow, that synchronicity that you experience when you're with the person that you say you love. It's three things that we say couples got to have in order to be successful. And of those three things, we have commitment. You got to be in it to win it. You got to be in it for the long haul. You got connection, which is that chemistry piece. Like, if I can't sit across from you and engage you in a conversation, if I can't touch you and feel that electric shock, that chemistry that I get, or even just by being close to you, then there's a problem. And then the third thing is courage. You got to have courage, because when the chemistry, when the connection starts to dwindle or fade, you got to look at yourself and be honest with yourself, and then push yourself forward, take a look at yourself and do something different so that you all can go to the next level. So you got to face yourself, confront yourself, and then face your partner and confront your partner too.
And there are so many people who have commitment and they have connection, but they don't have courage. And so if you don't have one of those things, then you might have somebody who you always have that connection with, you all are committed, but you're only able to go to a certain level in the relationship because there are certain places that person, based on where they are in their life, they're not willing to go. They just can't do it. They're there for you with this and that, and you're like, this one area, I'm trying to build, I want to do this. They can't meet you there. You need to know that. You deserve to know that, because if you know that in advance, because you've taken the time, then you know that part of the relationship, it will not necessarily look like I had envisioned it in my mind, but I can make an informed choice about I'm going to still move forward, or you know what, there is no way that I could be in relationship with someone, no matter how great the connection is and no matter how committed they are, if they're not willing to evolve beyond a certain point in a certain area. And those things, you can have great connection all day, but the courage isn't there. You find that out on year 5, 6, maybe 17. Right. And people get divorced way down the road because you didn't take the time to do that work. Yeah.
And that's a good thing that you say, is that people, it's amazing to me sometimes to see people who have been married for 30 years, and then it's like one day they wake up and say, that's it. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, you've invested that much of your time.
Well, they really didn't invest a lot of time. If you can leave the relationship after 20, 30 years, you weren't invested in the first place. That's how I see it. I remember seeing a lot of my friends' parents divorce when we went away to college. And why do you think that was?
They were waiting.
They were just waiting. They weren't invested those last 5 or 6 years. They were just there. They were just there, totally just existing for the whole cipher, the family, right? Yeah. But totally just was not there. So somebody leave after 20, 30 years. They left a long time ago.
Or did they outgrow each other?
No, they left a long time ago.
She's like, no, they checked out a long time ago.
At least one of them did. For you to be able to up and leave after 20 or 30 years, to not even work on it, to not even invest the time to work on it, you left a long time ago.
But you know what? It was interesting, too, around those couples who stay together for a long time. I've seen this over and over again, where one partner, they had an issue, they had a problem. So if we just use an example, a woman's like, you're not doing this and you're not paying attention to me, we don't spend time, and you don't maintain your job, and I'm carrying the weight on my own, right? Like these different things. They've been saying it over and over and over again, year after year, and the husband's not listening, or he doesn't seem to be listening. But the wife brings it up like once every other month, right? And so in her mind, she's articulated that he knows this is an issue. She gets to a certain point in year 18 where she's like, I'm done. Now he's ready. He's like, well, I didn't know it was on that level. I'm ready.
Right.
And she's not. She's checked out and done. And a lot of times that comes up because women don't know how to articulate their needs effectively, and don't keep it on the table, and don't put it out there. So it becomes a disservice to the relationship as a whole.
So we're gonna hold on that one. That's actually juicy. About
that's good.
That's good. So we're gonna hold on that one.
Goes
but we're
back
gonna
to
be
that
right.
Communications piece.
Hello, communicate. But we'll be right back on the other side of this break, and we will be communicating some more with Ayize and Aiyana Ma'at here on B3rdPower, UrbanStyleMedia.com.
Calling all speakers. B3rdPower is looking for impactful and innovative speakers, trainers, and business owners to take part in the B3rdPower Speaker Series. Beginning in March, we will feature and hear from a new speaker each month, highlighting their expertise. For more information, email us at B3rdPower@gmail.com. That's B3rdPower@gmail.com. Don't miss this opportunity to make your ripple effect in the global community. Elegant 3 Travels presents a summer escape. Join us as we set sail on a 7-night exotic Western Caribbean cruise, July 27th through August the 3rd, 2019, on the Carnival Conquest. Ports include the Grand Cayman Islands, Mahogany Bay, Belize, and Cozumel. For more information, contact Elegant 3 Travels at 240-816-0590. Reserve your suite today and don't miss this exotic Western Caribbean vacation. Global Executive Staffing provides top-level executive staffing to federal and private sector companies globally at the most competitive price. They are experts in coordinating and expediting projects from design to development. Global Executive Staffing is a Department of Veterans Affairs, Center for Veterans, certified service-disabled veteran-owned small business. To connect with Global Executive Staffing, go to www.gestaff.com.
My name is Denzel Bennett, CEO of Urban Style Media. I started this entity to give nonprofits, small businesses, an opportunity to display their gift in giving people the ability to live their dream. People that wanted to make a difference in the community oftentimes didn't have a platform, whatever's in their heart, or whatever they want to do from a media standpoint, in terms of directors, producers, musicians. We want to allow everyone to have a conduit to display their craft. Currently we have 7 shows. The collaboration aspect of our platform is expanding every day. We encourage people to go for their dreams. And so in order to feed the community, we need to expand our base. And expanding our base, we want to allow more people to have an opportunity to come on air to talk about their initiatives. We've been open approximately 5 months. And in that time span, people have shown up willing to serve. It's been beyond my wildest expectations. The people that have shown up have been dedicated, have gone beyond and above the call of duty. We're going to continue to pursue community objectives and initiatives. We want to be a staple in the community. Our slogan is, imagine us. So imagine us being there for you and your dreams to help us serve the community in the best way possible from a media standpoint.
Just keep going.
Welcome back to B3rdPower, and we are going to jump right back into this segment as we're sitting here with Ayize and Aiyana Ma'at. And we've got to get back into it because time is flying. So we had left off with communication and women communicating. We left off.
Like,
we're not leaving this.
We're not leaving.
We're going to keep it going because that got juicy, right?
Yeah, it did. It did.
So go ahead and continue to tell us about that communication.
About the communication. So I think the piece that I was lifting up is that oftentimes when we see couples separate and then eventually divorce after long periods of time, even of being together, but even when there have been shorter stints of being married or together, it's that communication piece. The woman, and I'm just using that example because it can be the other way around as well, will oftentimes say, I told him, he knows, I've brought this up. And when I really sit with that woman, or we sit together with the couple and unpack the situation, you haven't really put it on the table. You put it on the table kind of gingerly here and there. You haven't, continued to uplift it. I can think about times in our relationship, early on in our relationship. Can I give an example?
Please do.
Well, I will. So early on in our relationship, when we were married, my husband, the one of the biggest things about him that I was attracted to is the fact that he has an entrepreneurial spirit, and so do I. And that's one of our, commonly held beliefs, like do for self. We're gonna create something. We ain't gonna be, attached to a 9-to-5 forever. I love that about him. But when I had baby number 1, and then 2, right? And look, you heard them ages. They close together, right? Except for that surprise, right? I was like, so, because we were setting things up so he could, he was out here in real estate and, selling rice and, different things that he was doing, right? Like, what was the...
You be hating on me, man. You always hating. You be hating.
That one, you was selling products like
Yeah, I
grains
was.
and stuff like that, right?
Well, at least I was trying.
You was trying, right? Like, Kirby vacuums, like, I'm saying, he was getting it. He was a hustler, right? I was loving it, but I was like, boo, like, it's time you gotta bring it in. You gotta do something different. He was like, no, because this is what I want. That's our vision for our family. And I'm like, that's cool, but that's not bringing in money right now, right? Mm-hmm. So I could have just kind of shifted back, because he was strong on that. He didn't feel like it was any. I mean, like, you could speak for yourself, but he didn't feel like you were disappointing or not doing what you were supposed to be doing in that moment as a young man. And remember, we got married young, so he was still developing. I was still developing in terms of our individual selves and that kind of thing. But what I did is I kept it on the table all the time. Sometimes I was, I was immature. I was not as mature as I am today. So I was a little off a little bit sometimes in terms of my presentation and delivery. But we went to therapy. We would talk about it. I would say, no, that's not working for me. How are we going to do something different? Eventually, we got onto one accord. But there's plenty of women I know who have talked about having this disconnect in terms of, I don't want to be the one carrying. Well, you got to continue to put that thing out there, whatever it is, whatever area of the relationship. Same for the brother. Sex for once a month is not cool with me. Boo, what's up? We can't do it like that. He got to keep it on the table, and that's how you are able to get to success. Because what we say all the time is that two people, even turned against one another, you can be turned towards one another. That's a good thing. You can be turned against one another, where you are at a disconnect and there is disagreement. That's still all right, because the moment you turn away from one another and you're no longer engaged, now your relationship is at risk and you're in a danger zone. So people don't want to be against one another around issues, because they want things to, be peaceful again. I want to bring it up. I don't want the drama tonight. You better keep the drama going for as long as it needs to, so that you can be in productive confrontation. There is such a thing as productive confrontation about things that y'all are not, seeing eye to eye on.
I like that. Productive
confrontation. I think I do that very well.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're right. If you don't bring it up, or if you're not talking about it, like, I know that at one point in time, there were things that I felt like, well, I don't want to feel like I'm nagging, but it's not nagging. It's like, no, I'm communicating so that this doesn't become an issue. It's just that I'm communicating quite often. Because sometimes I've been in a relationship before where I didn't say anything, and it didn't work out so well, because not communicating, like you said earlier, you're not forthcoming with how you feel, and you're sitting there just hoping, wishing, praying that things will change, or you're dropping subtle hints and it's not changing. But at the end of the day, you end up suffering in silence. And so with my marriage now, I'm like, no, I want to communicate, because I want to make sure you understand where I'm coming from, and then I want to make sure that that I know where you're coming from, because that silence is definitely deadly, in the sense that the longer it exists, like you said, your relationship is at risk, and that's a high, ugly mess.
Yes.
So boo thing back there in the boo, we're gonna keep communicating, okay?
And I know I'm a because I know my husband. I mean, I don't know if you're going to put me all the way out there. I do think it's important for those who are watching this evening to know that there is a difference between making noise and communicating. There's a difference between talking. And I did, because I'm pretty loquacious. I like to talk just in general. I'm just, I like to run my mouth. I used to always think like, I communicate. I let him know what's on my mind. I tell him, and my husband got me straight. It was like, wait a minute, just because you know how to fill up the room with words doesn't mean that you're communicating. And so I think we also have to talk about that in terms of what effective communication looks like, because talking at someone is not the same as talking with someone. And being pressed to get your point out or to have your agenda met is not the same as making sure that your delivery can be heard. Because the way I have to deliver things to him, sometimes it does not work for me personally. But I have to do it the way that he will get it, because it's helpful for him.
I've always believed, and I liked how you said that I have to, in a way that he can get it.
He
has to do the same for me, because I've always believed in like positive and not negative words, right? So even in that negative, there's a way to say it so that it's not received in that negative way. So let's just have this conversation. Like, can we talk about this? Is it something we can talk about? That's how I like to put it. Is there but I don't want it to just be filling up the room with words.
Right.
But is there
Yeah.
a way that you
I was
go
about to
about
say,
that?
can you give us some examples? Can you break it down? What's an example of just filling the room with words and effectively communicating?
Yeah, so one way that you know, especially when it comes to, and I'm gonna make this a gender thing right now, but a lot of times men they complain about when it comes to communicating with their wife or their woman. Far too often, the only thing that's being communicated is issues, and so you know, I think that first and foremost, the things that we speak about or the things that you want to lift up and bring to my attention shouldn't exclusively be based off of issues that you have pertaining to the relationship. If all you can talk about is drama and my stuff, why would I want to talk to you? Like if everything you say is a problem, an issue, then, you know, again, I wouldn't want to talk to you. And so that's number one. But number two, that whole approach in terms of how you do it, I mean, you want to speak to your man's sweet spot. And when I say sweet spot, like everybody has a place within them that makes them feel safe. And so you want to make sure that you enter into that space with your spouse, with your partner, and be able to invite them to open up just by based off you using specific and particular words. You know, every man wants to feel needed. So when you speak language that's affirming and you indicate that you need your man, it elevates him. And so my wife mentioned earlier that to turn against is not a problem because the agitation, it can lead to elevation. But it leads to elevation, again, when you're speaking life-affirming words. So to say I need you, to say I want you, to say you mean this to me, and to approach a conversation that might even be contentious and start by giving something that's affirming by letting them know what he or she is doing well, then again, that opens it up and makes them feel more comfortable. It diffuses the possible tension by them putting down their guards and being open and more receptive to whatever it is that you have to say. So again, start with the compliment. You know, speak to his sweet spot in terms of expressing what it is that you need from him. And when I say need, I'm not talking about in a condescending, like, you need to do this. What I'm talking about is like you're coming from a place of deference, humility, and say, I really need your help. And so you soften yourself and you recognize, or you at least acknowledge that there's some vulnerability within you and you actually need this other person's help. Again, every man wants to be a Superman and cater and tend to his woman, but if you feel like you got everything down pat, then what's the need for you needing us? And so we want to feel like we're wanted. We want to feel like we're needed.
You know, they say that, you know, all people, but especially in a relationship, your partner is going to gravitate towards the applause. And I learned that in that class I told y'all we went to back in the day. I was so irritated when I heard that little lesson. I was like, really? I mean, I was very irritated. And I remember I raised my hand and was like, so I'm supposed to give him a cookie because he take out the trash? You want an applause because you do something like, I mean, I'm getting up every day doing it. Like, I was not there. But I actually understand it fully now, in that when we were going through some of our stuff, most of the time, this is just me, I can kind of obsess on what's not right and what's not happening. And I think that's human beings in general. You know, somebody say, what's the problem? Oh, I'll tell you what the problem is. Well, what do you want it to be? Or what would you like it to look like? What would be better? It's kind of a little quiet. Well, I have to think about that, you know, because the positive or that's just us as human beings. We tend to be problem-centered. So I think people have to practice the discipline of giving positive feedback. And it may be hard to do that sometimes. But I know now that it really does work, because it works for me. Just like, you know, he gonna get, and sometimes I know he set me up, because he give me something real sweet, and I'm like, he about to give me some feedback, tell me something.
You like,
you
know it's coming.
But you know, but I appreciate that. I appreciate that he takes the time to tell me something positive first, because I can be sensitive.
Now, before we get ready to go to this next break, I do have a question for you that we may start now and then finish on the other side. What is one of the common threads that seems to come across your desk when coaching or, you know, counseling someone?
I mean, there are a number, but infidelity definitely, and sex is another common one, the lack thereof. And then we already spoke about the communication piece, but as it pertains to infidelity, we mentioned that commitment is one of those 3 pillars that we lift up as being necessary for you to have a healthy and long-standing relationship. A lot of people, they don't have that one down. You know, a lot of people are saying that they're committed in a relationship, but then stepping out and, you know, they got boo thing over here, they got the work spouse, and, you know, they're doing their thing on the side. And unfortunately, that's leaving a lot of homes fragmented. And so it doesn't just impact the relationship, but it also impacts the family too. So that's something that we need to be mindful of.
Yeah, we can definitely pick up with this when we come back because, of course, we need more time.
Yeah, I was going to ask about habitual cheaters. Anyway.
So let's go ahead and take this quick break, and I mean quick because we need to get right back.
That's right.
Here on B to the Third Power on urbanstylemedia.com.
You sung it that time.
I sang.
Calling all speakers. B to the Third Power is looking for impactful and innovative speakers, trainers, and business owners to take part in the B to the Third Power Speaker Series. Beginning in March, we will feature and hear from a new speaker each month, highlighting their expertise. For more information, email us at B3rdPower@gmail.com. That's B3rdPower@gmail.com. Don't miss this opportunity to make your ripple effect in the global community. Elegant 3 Travels presents a summer escape. Join us as we set sail on a 7-night exotic Western Caribbean cruise, July 27th through August the 3rd, 2019, on the Carnival Conquest. Ports include the Grand Cayman Islands, Mahogany Bay, Belize, and Cozumel. For more information, contact Elegant 3 Travels at 240-816-0590. Reserve your suite today and don't miss this exotic Western Caribbean vacation. Global Executive Staffing provides top-level executive staffing to federal and private sector companies globally at the most competitive price. They are experts in coordinating and expediting projects from design to development. Global Executive Staffing is a Department of Veterans Affairs, Center for Veterans, certified service-disabled veteran-owned small business. To connect with Global Executive Staffing, go to www.gestaff.com.
Welcome back to B to the Third Power here on urbanstylemedia.com. We are continuing our conversation with Ayize and Aiyana Ma'at. And where do we leave off?
They
habitual cheaters. That's
know.
where we left off at. Habitual cheaters. Let's talk about
infidelity.
Yeah, so we have worked with people in the past that have had this challenge in their relationship, and a lot of it comes from their inability to really connect. Sometimes people have these attachment styles that prevent them from being open, being available, being vulnerable in their relationship, and so there's this tendency to push away. There's this tendency that whenever you get close in a relationship to push away. And so it may not even be a conscious thing. It's more so happening on an unconscious or subconscious level. And so they're retreating or they're withdrawn from being engaged in intimate relationships, and not to necessarily hurt the other person, but it's really more so to protect themselves. Mm-hmm. It's a self-protective mechanism that they've put in place so that they can actually survive and exist in the world. And what we often say is that people say, how can you love me and you're cheating on me? Well, just because you cheat on somebody, it doesn't mean that you don't necessarily love them. You may love them to the best of your ability, but the best of your ability may be able to be like, I can commit to you to some degree, but I'm also going to have this person on the side. It's not to excuse it, because you should arrive at a place where you're able to be monogamous and committed to the relationship fully. But what it is to say is that you have work that you need to do. And so just because somebody steps out, it's not an indicator that they don't love you, but what it is an indicator of is that they don't have the ability to be committed in the relationship because of their own limited issues that they have as it pertains to relationship connection, relationship commitment. That's a difficult one to swallow, but when it comes to the work that we do, we've often counseled people and let them know that, yeah, he may have hurt you, and again, it's not an excuse.
And
or she may have hurt you.
That's
and
that
not
habitual
an
piece.
Yeah.
I mean, there can be lots of reasons for cheating, but when there's a habit, there usually is something underlying that has nothing to do with the other person. It has to do with inner work that has to happen for them. So that's what he's speaking about in terms of keeping people at bay. That people do that in all kinds of ways. It might look like cheating though. It's not acceptable, but that might be what it looks like.
So, we talked about the other topic, which an audience member wants to continue on that conversation, which is the lack thereof in sex and relationships. Let's talk about it.
And I think we have a limited time, so let's get this in.
Did you say unlimited time? She said unlimited time. Woo!
So, when we do workshops and conferences and we sit with couples, so many women get irritated with me when we talk about sex. And let me just keep it clean. Let me just put it out there and be honest. I have evolved over time. I have been that person like, I'm tired, I'm asleep, I don't feel like it. All he wants is sex. I'm tired. I got all this stuff going on. Totally, like really not having a clue as to, particularly when you are married, the requirement for sex. And that's when people get agitated with me a little bit, because it is a requirement. If you are in committed, connected relationship with another person and you all have committed your whole selves to one another, and we understand, I'm going to step into the spiritual design for marriage specifically and look at all of the ways that we're supposed to grow one another and connecting with one another. There is no other person that you will have this kind of relationship with if you're in that kind of a marriage, right? So you have to be willing to connecting emotionally. There's communication. We talk about communication that requires no words. There's healing that will happen that will never require for you to say, I'm sorry, but it will happen through the art of lovemaking. But you won't be able to do those kinds of things and connecting on that other level if you ain't doing the do. So you know what I mean? So you have to be willing to do that. And I have to say, for real, as many times, and my husband and I have an amazing sexual connection, and it just is what it is. And I thank God, because it's always been that way, and we haven't had an issue there. So it's always been fabulous. But in those moments where I've been too tired or too whatever, and I've pushed through to the other side, I've always said, dang, that's just what I needed. So many times we get in the way of ourselves because we get overwhelmed with life and whatever, or we withhold because we mad. No, we need to cut that, and we need to understand it's a requirement.
Yeah, because I said it's crazy because sometimes it looks like single people have more sex than married people.
And that's a shame.
Because how do you get married and then you just don't? But when you just free balling, you
and they had a message on Facebook recently that was going around saying that the person that you marry won't necessarily be the best sex that you ever had. And seeing that, I was single at the time. I was like, what? Like, I don't want that to happen, but it
offers the opportunity for you to explore. And so, marriage, again, that's that sacred space that gives you that canvas, so you can paint intimately with each other to determine what's the best portrait that you all can arrive at. And so, you have opportunity after opportunity, but it requires practice. It requires you knowing yourself, and it requires you being willing to be vulnerable and recognizing that you might not have this down, but with work, with tweaking, you can get it down. But it also requires the courage to be able to tell your partner, I need you to go a little bit to the left, to the right. I need you to do this and do that.
Yeah, tweaking and a little twerking in the bedroom never hurt nobody. and I think marriage gets a bad rap, and I try to vehemently kind of push back against that. You can be a freak in your marriage. You can explore some. Whoa, I ain't never done this, right? You marriage is not. It's not this. Our bedroom is not boring, and our lives are not boring. But that's because we've worked on making sure we stay connected. So
that's why y'all got a surprise.
That's why we got a surprise, my sister.
Got him stuck.
So we got to push back against that. Marriage should be where you make that thing happen all the way.
Right.
I
know that's
I love that.
Well, I have truly enjoyed today's show.
Yes.
The honesty, the authentic coming from you guys. It's just, and I think that's why people connect with you because you are very honest, and people need honesty.
They do.
Yeah. And we're not going to tiptoe. We're not going to lie about it. We're not going to keep it 100.
Right. Because it's like when you hiding everything, you can't get help if you don't talk about it. You can't get help if you don't talk about it.
So how can people get in touch with you?
So you can reach us at our website, our blog, blackloveandmarriage.com. You can also find us on Facebook at blackloveandmarriage.com. And my Twitter, not our Twitter, but our Instagram handle is black, what is it, BLK? LUVN, the letter N, marriage.
Just go to blackloveandmarriage.com. Right, and you can also professionally, for counseling and for other booking engagements and stuff, go to therealrelationshipexperts.com, therealrelationship.
And we got a marriage retreat coming up, too, in October 25th through the 27th?
24th through the 27th.
Awesome.
Yeah, I saw that. Limited
Where's
spots,
it going to
right?
be?
It is in Pennsylvania at the Aquaba Mansion. So 14-room, beautiful grounds, amazing house, and 14 couples are going to come together and do some for real work and have a good time.
We
Fun.
still have slots
Fix your
available.
marriage
We do have a few
type
spots
stuff.
left.
They still have slots available. Go make sure you register for one of those slots.
CourageousCouplesRetreat.com. That's where you
Yes.
can look that one up.
Awesome.
Well, we thank you so much for joining us. Oh my God, we
Yes.
have to have you back.
Thank you
Like,
for having
Yeah,
us.
thank you for
Yeah.
having
We
us.
enjoyed it.
Yes.
No, when I say their schedule is busy, I'm gonna book them now for like 3 months from now to make sure we get them again. But we're so grateful for you coming by. We thank you guys for tuning in and watching
Yeah.
us. Remember to like, share with your family and friends. You never know who this message might bless. We done talked about some good stuff here tonight that can change and the trajectory of some people's relationships.
That's
so
right.
don't hold it to yourselves, okay?
Share.
Share. And who we got coming up next week?
So we have Cookie Carson.
Look at that. Look at that.
We have Cookie Carson Productions coming on. She is a filmmaker and writer producer
Bam.
here in the DMV area. She'll be coming on and to talk to us about just that.
Filmmaking.
Yeah, filmmaking.
So all you filmmakers, wannabe filmmakers, screenwriters, tune in next week here.
and I'm also going to invite Alan.
Yes.
Alan Greenstein.
Yes.
Yeah, I need to get in touch with
Alan
him.
is one of our
If you're
main
watching, I need
fans.
you here
Oh my
next
goodness.
Monday.
Yes. yes. We're so grateful for Alan. He always loves up on us. But anyway, we thank you guys for joining us here at B3rdPower on urbanstylemedia.com. Remember, today is a great day to make a difference in the lives of those that are around you. And we hope to see you guys back next week, 7 p.m., same time, same station. We out.
Out. We out.
Calling all speakers. B3rdPower is looking for impactful and innovative speakers, trainers, and business owners to take part in the B3rdPower Speaker Series. Beginning in March, we will feature and hear from a new speaker each month, highlighting their expertise. For more information, email us at B3rdPower@gmail.com. That's B3rdPower@gmail.com. Don't miss this opportunity to make your ripple effect in the global community. Elegant 3 Travels presents a summer escape. Join us as we set sail on a 7-night exotic Western Caribbean cruise, July 27th through August the 3rd, 2019, on the Carnival Conquest. Ports include the Grand Cayman Islands, Mahogany Bay, Belize, and Cozumel. For more information, contact Elegant 3 Travels at 240-816-0590. Reserve your suite today and don't miss this exotic Western Caribbean vacation. Global Executive Staffing provides top-level executive staffing to federal and private sector companies globally at the most competitive price. They are experts in coordinating and expediting projects from design to development. Global Executive Staffing is a Department of Veterans Affairs, Center for Veterans, certified service-disabled veteran-owned small business. To connect with Global Executive Staffing, go to www.gestaff.com.
My name is Denzel Bennett, CEO of Urban Style Media. I started this entity to give nonprofits, small businesses, an opportunity to display their gift in giving people the ability to live their dream. People that wanted to make a difference in the community oftentimes didn't have a platform, whatever's in their heart, whatever they want to do from a media standpoint, in terms of directors, producers, musicians. We want to allow everyone to have a conduit to display their craft. Currently we have 7 shows. The collaboration aspect of our platform is expanding every day. We encourage people to go for their dreams. And so in order to feed the community, we need to expand our base. And expanding our base, we want to allow more people to have an opportunity to come on air to talk about their initiatives. We've been open approximately 5 months. And in that time span, people have shown up willing to serve. It's been beyond my wildest expectations. The people that have shown up have been dedicated, have gone beyond and above the call of duty. We're going to continue to pursue community objectives and initiatives. We want to be a staple in the community. Our slogan is, Imagine Us. So imagine us being there for you and your dreams to help us serve the community. And the best way possible from a media standpoint.